In the last video, we talked about my experience in the intensive rehab unit, as well as like moving back home so I could get more acclimated with walking and just getting support from my family during that time. So in this video, we're going to talk more about just me getting back into school finally and just being able to get into therapy so that I could help process the trauma I had gone through from the accident, as well as trying to find like a new sense of self and just getting closer with God and life beyond the accident. After finally walking, I was really just happy to get back into school because that was, again, my main priority. I'm a student at heart, so I had to like go ahead and finish my master's degree because I had already put so much work toward it, and I didn't want the accident to take something else from me like it did my walking or my other abilities. And even though I did like relearn how to walk, of course, so God bless, but also, I mean, I still have nerve damage on my left hand, so I can't use that the same way. I have a traumatic brain injury, so I process information differently. They had me a little worried for how I was going to be able to navigate getting back into school, but luckily for me, I was doing my classes online since I still needed like a lot of support from my family at the time. I also knew since I was going to be focused so much on school that I needed to prioritize my mental health because I couldn't allow myself to get back into school and then my mind to fall apart. My therapist was truly a godsend because she helped me realize that even though life was going to be different, it didn't have to be over for me, because I definitely felt like after the accident, even though I survived, I lost my life in a way, and I was really glad, like just blessed by God to be able to find like a new way to move forward. And through therapy, I also was able to like just process that trauma and again get to a better space in my life. I was also really focused on prioritizing my mental health because even though I've always been like a really mentally strong person, I again knew that like having a traumatic brain injury was going to change the way I was processing everything going on around me, and I also felt very alone, and I didn't want to start getting like depressed going through grad school because I don't need that. And I mean, even though it did still kind of happen, I was able to tackle it better with using the tools I had. Getting back into grad school, I had like a lot of anxiety surrounding whether I was going to be able to perform as well as I was prior to the accident, because I was doing pretty well and I had like a solid start over like that first half of my grad school career. So I wanted to continue with that momentum, and I was a little scared that things just weren't going to work out or shake out that way. I just started getting the mindset that if things really don't work out, I'm gonna just drop out. Like, I really not gonna lose too much. I mean, I will lose a lot, but again, that just might be the cards that I have at the time, and I gotta play my best hand. So during that period, I was really able to optimize my digital media skills. I wasn't like a super pro, but I was solid, and I had like that solid foundation that I was able to like build upon, and I got better at, because that's really like my main way of presenting information and sharing things with other people. I was honestly doing amazing my entire semester. When it came to finals, that's when I finally started getting like a little shaky with things, just because I had to type like a lot of long papers, even though throughout the semester I had to take papers all the time. Because this is grad school is a lot of papers and like a lot of research. But since I was left hand dominant and my left hand has nerve damage in it, so I wasn't able to type with it, I had to type one-handed doing like a lot of my assignments. And so like a lot of times I would just type on my phone and then just send it to my MacBook like through the Notes app, and I would just copy into like a doc or something, so that it would be like in like the correct format. But it was a struggle, and I had to like just continue doing that. By the end of the semester, my hand will it would have like spasms and like cramp up, just because like I was typing so much using just like my one hand. And I mean, I got through it, but again, it was a struggle. It was really hard, and I guess by the end of the semester, like I had like 25-page essays, and that was killing me. But I got through it. We're here. And I also started to realize, like, when I got through finals, that I really not overdid it, but I kind of overexerted myself, and I pushed myself really hard just because I felt like I had something to prove, not only to myself but to other people as well. I didn't want to come off like as less than, or like I'm struggling too much, because I don't want to be that person who like, okay, you were so amazing before, but now this is all we have left. So I want to just continue to excel and do better. Even though I was very nervous about how well I was going to perform when I came back to grad school after taking an entire semester off, I actually ended up performing way better than I did prior. So like my GPA was like a 3.87 when I finished this like the semester after coming back from the accident, but before that it was like a 3.5. That just shows how hard I was working, and like I really just feel like that's a testament to how God was like moving through me, and I don't feel like there's like another way I would be able to pull that off. So after I got through finals and everything, I was like, okay, I need to take the time to rest and relax because I don't need to overexert myself anymore. I need to go ahead and take the time for my mental health just to have like a break. And then also it was my last semester after that, so I want to finish strong and just like go in with the level head and the right mindset. So when the summer finally came around, I kind of started getting back depressed again. At the time, was really just trying to push through and just keep going. I also focused on getting through intensive rehab, getting back to walking, moving home, getting through school, that I wasn't really taking the time to process my emotions through all of those things. Again, I felt like even though I survived the accident, I lost my life and that I lost so many things I used to enjoy. I wasn't really as close to like a lot of my friends who I was close to prior because I wasn't in the city anymore, and like a lot of people just kind of fell back, and over time those friendships kind of faded or they're just not as strong as what they used to be. So now I just feel like very alone and isolated. But that's also why I lean so much on my family because I feel like they were the only people I had at the time. But again, through therapy, I was able to like realize that I don't need to be so hard on myself or down on myself that things are looking so different, but I need to just have like there's the gratitude that I was able to get through that experience and come back stronger, and also just having gratitude toward God because I don't think I would be here without him. I really don't know how I'm still like here living and walking among everybody else, but we're here and that's just thanks to God again. So I just glad that he didn't allow like could have like destroyed me and broke me down, and he allowed it to like transform me and become back as like a stronger person. I realized I need to start giving more grace to myself during that time because honestly, there's not really much I could have done, but I always like started thinking like, what if I was awake during that accident because I was asleep on the way home, and if I was awake, I probably could have changed something or I could have made things come out like a different outcome. And realistically, there's not much I could have done, and it's probably best that I was asleep because I probably would have been more traumatized. In the fall semester, I decided I need to go ahead and have everything lined up, so I want to finish strong by just going in level-headed, prepared for like whatever school was going to throw at me. And also, I knew I already need to secure a job because I initially graduated undergrad in 2020 during COVID, and at that time, nobody was really hiring. I didn't want to end up in the same situation where I was unprepared and unemployed. I couldn't do that, especially not with 2 degrees after everything I had gone through. I needed to have a job. I went ahead and started looking in August, and on top of that, I was also working on my capstone portfolio, which is like a testament to all the work I had put throughout the entire program. So since my work was digital media related, like I was able to like capitalize on like a lot of those different projects and include them in my portfolio and my capstone project so that they could see all the work I had done and see how hard I had worked to like get back. Because not a lot of my professors knew about my circumstances, but I did include like some of that in my capstone just to say like, I've been through all of this, but I'm still coming out on top in some way, shape, or form. So while I was job hunting, getting through grad school, getting through therapy, physical therapy, in between all of that, I was able to find me a job, and I was really just blessed to be able to find like an opportunity like that because I was really just nervous that I was going to end up in the same situation as I did during COVID, and again, I didn't want that. I didn't need that negativity in my life. I'm just like glad to be here now. My initial deadline for finding a job was like November because I graduated in December. And so I was like, I need to find something by November, but I found something in September. The only problem with that was I was still working in the library for my assistantship. So I had to work both of those jobs at the same time. And it wasn't too hard, but again, I was kind of like just already juggling a lot. But I work well under pressure. I didn't let it crush me or crack me or break me. I just kept pushing through. So after I finished school that semester, I finally got my degree. I walked across the stage. I was up out of there. I was like, now I need to go ahead and move out. I was so grateful to my parents for giving me a place to live and having a place to go back to, but I was so independent prior to the accident that I knew I needed to go ahead and live my life and do something for myself. Me and 2 of my siblings, we ended up getting placed together, and we're living here in Atlanta now. We've been here for about a year. It probably took us like 4 months to find a place, but once we did, we went ahead and got everything lined up, went ahead and moved out, and the ball's been rolling ever since. The apartment is cool and all, but it's not the best place. I wouldn't recommend it, but we're here. Yeah. it's just been a journey and experience in itself. But that's just kind of anywhere you live, especially when you're living in an apartment, especially in Atlanta. But that just is what it is. Life after the accident has been very different. Not to say like I'm not grateful that I went through the accident, but I am grateful that I went through that experience so that God was able to move through me in like a different way that allowed me to like just have a new sense of self and realize, my self-worth isn't tied to school or a job or another person, that I can get through anything. And just having faith really just carried me a long way, because I really don't know how else I would be here. I don't know how I've gotten this far. Just going from like the ICU to the intensive rehab unit to moving back home to relearning how to walk to going through therapy, getting my master's degree, moving out. It was all just a very long journey, but we're here. I'm just really grateful to be here now, and I'm just grateful for the strength I gained from going through that experience. But yeah, that all just leads us to where we are now. I feel like this is kind of like the theme of like what I wanted this series to be about, was like life is a journey and things might not look like how you intend for them to, but you have to have faith and trust that God will carry you through regardless. And that like, even though there are a lot of things that could be meant to destroy us and break us down, and you have to have faith that things are going to work out regardless. And a lot of things that are meant to destroy you can be used to propel you into a new chapter of life and allow you to come back even stronger. And I created this series because going through my own like mental health issues, I wanted to rely on other people to like lean on during that time, but nobody else had gone through anything as specific or as dire as a near-death experience. So I wanted to be able to be that kind of light or beacon of hope for somebody else. I got through it, so you can get through it too. Things might not look perfect or ideal all the time, but you have to just trust in God to carry you through. But life is very different now. I'm just continuing to learn and grow in different ways. I'm just excited to still be here and just experience life in a new way. And even doing this now has me like looking at some things, that different patterns I've fallen back into. I'm still like always putting other people before myself, and still like always focused on helping those around me. And just like God has really allowed me to see I need to put myself first, and I need to like just continue growing and building for myself and building the life I want to live for myself. But that is the end of this story. I just want to say thank you for sticking with me through it. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for whatever is next. But that's it for now.